Life.
Hey loves, I'm stopping by really quickly just to let you guys know about my new merchandise that I recently put out. You guys asked and I delivered. You can now pick up your Pick Me Nation t-shirts, you guys. I also have Winter is Here merchandise. And I also have Who You Want, Gotta Want You t-shirts as well. So make sure you go and support. It is the holiday times. Definitely go pick up a shirt or a mug for your mother, your fathers, your sisters, brothers, your husband, wife. Make sure you go and support. I have those shirts available now. What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video for you guys. Now, this reaction is on Claudia Jordan. So Claudia Jordan did a recent interview where she basically explained what Kevin Samuels was talking about all along. So now we're seeing a lot of these women finally get into a place where they're admitting the truth. And I want to play what she had to say, and I definitely want to get y'all thoughts on it. But before we get into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It is free to subscribe. Also share and like the video and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
What do you wish someone had told you about dating like in your 40s and 50s back then?
You know, you think that when you're ready to settle down that there's always going to be a lot of supply on the shelves, and it's not. Like at this age, a lot of the good guys are married or taken because they're good guys. And I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I'm like, well, your best bet now is maybe someone that a good man that maybe is coming out of a marriage, getting a divorce. So, you know, I think in our youth, and I would like people to know this when they're younger, we think, oh, there's always going to be an endless supply. I can wait till tomorrow. Don't put off your happiness waiting. You know, if you find that good person, like a lot of times we wait, well, it's not the right time. It's never going to be like the right time. I would say go for it more. I wish I would have told someone told me just go for it. I probably have overlooked a good candidate before, you know, like maybe,
Why is that though?
Me thinking the timing thing, maybe prioritizing career. You know, I definitely was always like work. I never thought I had enough cushion built up to like relax and take my foot off the gas and start a family.
And then that just go on and on and on, and then you be 100 years old and you like, it's still working.
Exactly. Listen. This is what we talk about. We talk about this. This is something I talk about all the time. And at least let's give her credit for at least saying it. But it's unfortunate that a lot of women have to get to this point to where they've run out of options. They've hit that proverbial wall to get it. You know, it's something that they don't get when they're younger. But when you get older and you realize you don't have as many options, it's usually too late. And I'm not even the type of person to even say, you know, that it's just impossible to find love, but it's less of a chance the older you get. And especially if you have a mentality that is, you know, this independent boss chick, I want you, but I don't need you type of attitude, that's definitely going to hinder you or keep you from getting a person that really would want to build a life with you. And it's going to be harder to build a life with a person when you're older, when you're more set in your ways. That's just the truth of it. And I think it's unfortunate that a lot of women wait till they get to this point to realize the truth. When Kevin Samuels, which he was right all along, a lot of these women didn't want to hear what he had to say. They didn't like it. You know, they didn't like his, way he said it. They didn't like his tone. They didn't like what he was saying. But they realized when they're older that he was saying the truth because now they're living it. They're experiencing it. And it would be so much better if a lot of people would just pay attention and listen and not take it as an insult on them or somebody bashing them or putting them down, and just accept the fact that women have a biological clock. And if you want a family, you're going to definitely have to prioritize that earlier in life than as opposed to waiting or thinking that you have time. When you're in your 40s and 50s, it's too late at that point, or you have less options, and it's going to be more harder for you to find the type of guy that you want at that age than it would have been you finding a guy that was a good guy that wanted to be with you and take him seriously, and you guys work and build together. I think the problem that a lot of these women are facing is, and Claudia said it, she was career driven. This is why a lot of career driven women are usually single, especially in the Black community, because there are other women who are, non-Black women who are career driven as well, but they also understand the importance of having a husband and a family. So they usually prioritize both. They in college, they usually meet their husbands in college. They go off, they work in their careers, and they have children when they're younger because they understand the importance of both. You could have it all, just not all at one time. And so, but somehow in the Black community, our women were taught to just be independent, focus on your career. You don't need a man. When other communities are taught that, hey, you need a family, you need a husband. So you need to work on your husband when you're young while you're in college. So they didn't say, oh, you couldn't go to college. They went to college. They prioritized their husbands in college, got engaged, got married, started their careers and families, and they prioritized it with their husbands. This is something in our communities, a majority of our women don't do. This is why we don't have a high successful marriage rate in our communities, because they only focused on one at a time. And then when they got older, they realized, dang, this is difficult. I can't find a man that I want. Even though in your 20s, you've come across a lot of men who were probably good candidates for marriage, who wanted to be with you, and probably you could have built a family and a life with them and still started a career. But a lot of women didn't see it that way. And unfortunately for Black women, they're going to suffer the consequences. That's just what it is. Let's continue.
I will say specifically with Black women especially, I feel like we don't really have the luxury to think that we can kind of take time off like that. And I specifically say Black women because we're usually the backbone of everything. Not even just with our families, but with our friend circles. It's always something for us to do. We're always taking care of somebody else. I don't have children, but I'm always feeding a friend or taking care of someone or helping somebody out or doing a favor. And I think that's a cape that we put on ourselves. No one told us to do this. It's just something in us that we do.
Yeah, but I disagree. I think she has a point there, but I think a lot of women have been told that. And you take it upon yourself to feel like you have to be the savior for family members and everybody else. And I think that is a burden that is put on a lot of individuals in general who are successful in their family. So I think when you become successful in your family, there is this burden that you have to be the savior for everybody else. And I do think that is a problem in our communities, and not just for women, but for men as well. Anybody in the family that becomes successful, there is a burden that, where they're looked at to be the savior for everybody else. You got to take care. And that's something that you do put up on yourself. And I don't think that's what you should do at all. But I think also too, I think this is part of the reason why there are some mothers who put the pressure on their children to become successful, to take care of them. And they don't push the idea of a husband because they think that that's going to take away from them. A lot of these, and if we're going to be honest, a lot of these single mothers or a lot of these women who were raised by Black mothers, they put the pressure on their children to be successful to take care of them. But they don't tell them, hey, go, get you a husband, find you a man you can build together, not realizing that, that is a benefit to them. So the pressure is always on you to do it singularly by yourself. And that would be hard for anybody to have to do, versus you going out, still, focusing on, you have to take care of yourself as an individual. So focusing on building yourself up so that you can have something to fall back on, but also not thinking that you have to do it alone, not thinking that you have to be the savior for everybody, but you have to also make sure that you're good as well. And to me, that's incorporating a husband into your life. So it's not just you. So you have you and your husband and both of you guys can build together. And, you could be in a better position. That way you can build a family and you can still work on things together. Somehow that togetherness idea just went out the window when women thought that, hey, they didn't need a man and they want to be successful just as a man. They want to be like men, boss chicks and independent, and, they can grandstand on that. I think the idea of being these independent boss chicks where they don't need a man, it went to these ladies' heads. It went to their heads and it made them think that I don't need a man. I can be just as successful as a man, and you can't tell me nothing. But also, they didn't realize that was the very thing that was going to deter them from actually getting a man, because they didn't say they didn't want a man. They want a man, but they want him on their terms. But not considering what the men would want is the reason why a lot of these women are single. And yeah, there are a lot of boss chicks out here who want a man. They want a husband. They wanted children, but now they've gotten to a point where now that's looking like that is never going to happen. And unfortunately, women like Claudia Jordan and others are realizing that at this point. And a lot of times they probably won't admit it fully. They regret a little bit of their choices and how they went about it, because either they didn't know any better or they thought they had the time to do what they wanted to do. And then finally they're going to get the man on the back end. And now they're realizing, God damn it, it's not that easy to do. And so, yeah, I think it's important for these women to speak on it and to teach the younger women to not do it that way. The generation coming behind them, I think it's important for the older women to set an example for them by telling them, hey, this is a mistake, especially if you want a husband and kids. If you want a family one day, you should be telling these young women this is not the best way to go about it, that you should prioritize family and all of that early on. Stop thinking that you have all these options because you're so attractive and you got men coming after you left and right. Understand, you better find somebody, that wants to be with you and want to build with you, who you enjoy and they enjoy you, and y'all build something together. And stop thinking that you have all these endless amounts of opportunities when the clock is ticking. And so, yeah, I just think that as the older generation realize that they failed in that way, they should be teaching the younger generation, how to go about it. That's all I'm saying. Let's continue.
I think with Black women specifically, it's harder for us to ever feel like we can just kind of take a break. We have to be like all gas, no brakes. I don't think we have the luxury of feeling like, okay, I can take a breather now and relax. And I think it's really sad. There's all these statistics about 45%, 65% of Black women will never get married, and we're out here taking care of everybody else and not getting taken care of. And I think it's really sad. I think we self-impose this cape on ourselves to save the world. Look at all the marches. Look at all, I know this is dating, but I got to bring it into like the political space. We're always at the front lines for everybody else. For everybody. Brother gets killed, we're in the front lines. The LGBTQ community, we're in the front lines. Other women that are not even showing that up as our allies, we're in the front lines. Gaza, front line. We're always there for everybody else. And on top of all the stuff in our personal lives, we out here trying to save the world. When does that leave time to like really feel comfortable? When does that really leave time to like relax or even just like put yourself first, or dating? And I just feel like a lot of women get caught up in saving the world and then they leave little time for themselves.
Listen, I don't know about this saving the world thing. I think there's something that a lot of Black women want to use as a way to justify their horrible decision making or lack thereof. I don't get the saving the world, thing, but I just think that they're realizing that they've wasted a lot of time. That's it. I mean, and it's better to be truthful and honest and upfront about what's really happening and stop trying to make it seem like, make excuses for it. The bottom line is this, and I tell young women this, hey, listen, if you really want a husband and a family, prioritize it young, and especially if you have all these opportunities, just pick one. You just need one. Stop thinking that the grass is always greener. Stop thinking that, there's better options. You want to hold out until you could get a richer man, a more better option, and pick an option that you have now and you guys work and build together. And I think a lot of these women are focused on their careers. They thought that if they build themselves up financially, if they build themselves up in their careers, that is going to equate to them getting a high value man, a rich man is just going to fall into their lap when he noticed that they are educated and they're these top tier women, educated, got all this going on for themselves. They really thought that was going to be the thing that would attract the type of man that they're looking for. And what they're finding out is the type of man that they're looking for is not attracted to that type of woman. That he's more attracted to a woman who has other qualities. And those other qualities are not the qualities that a lot of our women in our communities were taught that they should be for a man. In fact, they were taught the opposite. And that's just really it. Most men, whether you are top tier men, average men, whatever, most men want women who are more traditional women, more traditional feminine women, not women who are trying to climb the corporate ladder and want to work and be boss chicks and think that they're better than the men that are around them. That is the problem. And I'm not saying that you can't be educated. You can't have these things, because there are a lot of successful women out here who are doctors and lawyers, and their husbands are successful as well. And they have husbands, they have families, they have careers, they have it all. But in our community, it's one or the other until you're ready for it. And then it's the mentality that's associated with being successful is why so many black women are a turnoff for men in general. And it's not even just black men, but men in general. And I think if black women would understand and listen, just because you're successful doesn't mean you have to have a nasty attitude. Doesn't mean that you have to feel entitled. Doesn't mean that because you worked hard that you're better than the person that you're trying to be with. Even if the man made more money than you, you still have an attitude, and it's like it's a competition of who can do better as opposed to you working together. This is why, in my opinion, working together when you're younger and you building it together makes it a lot easier, because there's no grandstanding. That's us doing it together. And so it's something that we've built as opposed to what you've built versus what he's built, creating a competition. So when you work together and you build it together, it's much more rewarding, and there's not a competition there. It's you guys building it together out the mud, so it's yours, as opposed to this is mine and this is yours, and I be damned if you gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. No, you do it together. That's why that's such an important important in my opinion, because you do it together. That way you guys can enjoy it together, and you can also create a family as well. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell to be notified when I go live or post the videos. Y'all let me know what you think. Do you agree with the video or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
DeeDeesReactions. Tell a friend.